Hello and welcome back to the Petersen Automotive Museum. My name is Michael McCardle, Assistant Curator here, and today it is my pleasure to take you through Legends of the Dirt, our new exhibit featuring 14 iconic and legendary vehicles from throughout the various disciplines of off-road motor racing. Come check it out. So we start off with the 1983 Lancia Rally 037, driven by Walter Röhrl in the 1983 Monte Carlo Rally. The Lancia 037 was the final rear-wheel drive car to win the World Rally Championship. So in 1982, Audi came in with the Quattro all-wheel drive and really changed the game. That was the same year that Lancia introduced the 037, their brand new cutting-edge rear-wheel drive competitor. And in 1982, that didn't go so well for Lancia. But in '83, they had begun working on an all-wheel drive competitor, but it wasn't quite ready yet. So they worked out some of the kinks with the 037 and took the fight to all-wheel drive, and for the final time were able to win the championship with a rear-wheel drive competitor. After that, it was all all-wheel drive, and Lancia soon followed with the Delta Integrale, and the game was forever changed. So, legendary Group B competitor.
The Lancia Rally is a supercharged, tubular-framed, lightweight racer designed for just one purpose. In these dry conditions and on the twisting, cambered roads of the Alps, it's utterly without heat.
What is your lead now, Walter?
I think 3.5 minutes before Marco and 9 minutes before the stick.
So you must be very happy with such
Yes,
comfortable lead.
Right. I am already calculating every stage I can be 1 minute slower than stick.
Moving on, we've got the 2009 Kirby Designs Ultra 4, driven by Ultra 4 and King of the Hammers co-founder Dave Cole, along with co-founder Jeff Knoll. Did not drive the car, but want to give credit where credit's due. The two founders of the series, Ultra 4 and King of the Hammers. This car is important for being one of the earliest cars with independent front suspension. So when that first started, it was largely modified rock crawlers, but pretty immediately the independent front suspension, which was advantageous in the faster desert racing sections, proved to be, well, faster, albeit a little bit less durable at first, and now that has come to parity, and you will see mostly independent front suspension cars competing at King of the Hammers and in Ultra 4 competition around the world. Moving on, we've got the Rock Bouncer, Screamin' Blue, driven by Bobby Tanner. This car was here for the inception of that sport. Before it was even formalized into a competition, Bobby Tanner and a couple other hobbyists started building cars like this and racing them to the top of the hills rather than traditional rock crawling, which is more slow and precise and about points. This car, once that competition was formalized, was a front runner for almost a decade, and Bobby Tanner was a crowd favorite for his showmanship. He was always the guy to go the biggest.
Going here, and when I come into the curve right here, I overshot the runway way too hard. I knew I didn't have a chance of winning then. I thought, well, if you can't win, you might as well put on the show.
Moving on, we have the legendary American rallycross car, the GRC Beetle, driven by Tanner Faust. This came about when this generation of Beetle, the most recent generation of Beetle, was released. It featured a sportier, more aggressive styling language than the new Beetle that preceded it, and to kind of support that effort to revise the image of the Beetle, Volkswagen built this 550 horsepower all-wheel drive rallycross Beetle, which Tanner Faust drove for a number of years. In 2017, he competed it in this configuration, and in the Beetle, he contributed to it being the winningest American rallycross car of all time. Moving on, we have the extremely legendary Landshark, a revolutionary of Class 1 unlimited buggy racing. This pioneered the truggy configuration, so taking trophy truck configuration and applying it to a buggy build. So featuring front engine, solid rear axle suspension from a trophy truck, rather than the independent suspension that was common of the configuration of the time. This earned 4 overall titles and 7 Class 1 titles from 1995 till the mid-2000s, and really changed Class 1 forever.
Gone in an instant. But now, the Landshark is back.
have the 1993 Suzuki Cultus twin engine driven by Nobuhiro Tajima, Monster Tajima, as you may know him. In 1993, this car set a new record up Pikes Peak when it was all still dirt. It started to be paved in 2002 and was paved in sections up until 2011 and is now a fully tarmac race. Prior to that, it was an all dirt rally, and this vehicle, which for that dirt configuration is pretty much a perfect build. It's got a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder up front, making 400 horsepower, and an identical motor in the back, each running individual axles. So you get that perfect front-back weight balance. And also, I'm not sure if you can see on camera there, but the seat is dead center. So you get that perfect balance all around, and that configuration proved successful. It set a new record up the hill, and believe it or not, despite setting a new record, finished second overall in that event because Tajima's record was broken later that day by another competitor. But Nobuhiro Tajima went on to break that record and establish new records for many years up until the mid to late 2000s, even after it had been paved, and continues to race at Pikes Peak to this day. A real legend of the discipline.
Here is Tajima. He was first in the Unlimited division last year. Remember, this is a twin-engine Suzuki, and see where he sits? Right in the middle.
Well, he's a rally driver from Japan, and this thing's got twin engines. It's putting out 400 horsepower per engine.
Moving on to stadium truck racing, or rather short course truck racing, we have the Pro 4 driven by Rick Huseman. Looks like a Toyota here, and Mr. Huseman was sponsored by Toyota, but this is actually built by Rick Huseman and his brother and his race team. Fully fabricated and built by them to go racing. I'm sure we'll patch a shot in, but the motor is actually where the passenger seat would be. So again, focusing on that perfect weight balance, this car will jump 100 feet. So you need that forward-backwards balance to not dive forward or pitch back and really land straight. Similarly, when it comes to jumping and the courses that this navigates, you would think you don't see a lot of suspension travel here. The car sits quite low. You would expect for jumping you want quite a bit of suspension, and actually what's going on is the car's neutral position is quite low, so that when it jumps, all that suspension drops out and is available to catch the car when it lands. So because this is competing on more groomed and constructed tracks that won't have unexpected bumps or ruts or whoops, it doesn't need that bump travel. It just needs to catch when it lands. It's quite spectacular. Moving on, we have the 2024 rock crawling national champion, driven by Jesse Haynes and his spotter, Chris Poblano. Rock crawling, this is a moon buggy configuration. Jesse Haynes was around for kind of the creation of the moon buggy configuration in the early 2000s. That was when his career started, and he's a well-known fabricator within the space who builds these portal axles, which are industry standard. They're based on a Humvee component. And a portal axle essentially allows the front or rear axle, the drive lines from the differential, to be raised from the wheel center to allow more clearance. So if you look closely, the skid plate on the bottom of the car is actually slightly lower than the axles, which is a pretty incredible bit of engineering. And these vehicles can navigate over just about anything. It's pretty incredible, and they navigate up through a set of cones on a mountainous or rocky course for precision rather than time. Going through gates or not using your winch, not using reverse, not hitting any cones, and finishing within an allotted time, but not for the fastest time. Try and get the best score. Moving on to another true legend, the 1970 Ford Bronco Big Ollie, driven by Parnelli Jones, widely attributed as one of the very first trophy trucks. That attribution comes because, despite looking like a Bronco, underneath this is a fully custom tube chassis race car featuring a fiberglass Bronco body. Unlike a factory Bronco, which is what they would have raced prior, this one features that custom chassis. It's also rear drive rather than all drive, and features an independent front suspension. Rather than a solid axle front suspension, which helped with better suspension travel in the dirt. The reason this configuration even came about was Parnelli Jones was basically bet that he, being an Indy 500 champion and legendary road racer, couldn't handle the Baja 1000. And he took that personally, as a champion is wont to do, and went racing in a more standard production-based Bronco, and his flat-out driving style proved too much for that configuration, and he didn't finish the race in 1969. He broke the car, and so he went back to his team. He went back to Bill Straub and the team of manufacturers in his shop and said, we need to build something better. We need to build a purpose-built Baja race truck. So they did, and it proved to be quite successful. It was much, much stronger and durable and was able to handle his driving, as well as being much, much lighter than its competitors. And in 1971 and 1972, it absolutely dominated the Baja 1000, then called the Mexican 1000. Turning to the center here, we've got a collection of fantastic motorcycles from a wide variety of disciplines. First off is the 1982 Westlake Speedway, driven by Bruce Penhall. Bruce Penhall was the first American to win the Speedway World Championship since, I believe, 1937, when he took his first championship in 1981. And then in 1982, he drove this bike for the first and so far only time that the Speedway World Championship was hosted in the United States, here in Los Angeles in the Coliseum. He won that as well on this bike in the United States. The footage is quite incredible. I recommend you look that up as well.
Right round the line, up the inside completely, and look at him banging into Penhall. Carter on the inside, another one for Penhall.
Carter into second place. Now Penhall is back to second place. Out of turn number 2. Carter goes down. Carter has crashed through the retainer.
Moving on, we have the 2024 Honda CRF 450X, ridden by Slam Life Racing, SLR Honda. Just this year, about 2 weeks ago, they won their 7th Baja 1000. This bike was ridden in 2024 to their 6th Baja 1000 victory. Truly a modern-day dynasty of off-road desert racing. Moving on to another current champion, Team Petersen Racing's Pro Hill Climb. This is an 1190 twin powered by nitromethanol. This motorcycle makes 300 horsepower. This bike itself, just about a month ago, won its 2nd national title in a row, and it will be here until the spring because it's still an active race bike. So in the spring, the team will take it back, reconfigure it for the coming season, and we're generous enough to lend us another one of their retired motorcycles, which will fill the space in the time. Another champion coming. Moving on to, if you're a motocross fan, perhaps one of the most legendary bikes ever, featuring a truly iconic livery, the 2004 Honda CRF 450R, ridden by Ricky Carmichael in 2004 to a perfect season. The way that the AMA Motocross Championship works, there's 12 events in a season, each featuring 2 heat races. Ricky Carmichael won 24 races in a row on this motorcycle. Truly incredible.
Ricky Carmichael wraps up not yet another moto, another title, another overall, but the perfect season comes to a conclusion. Your winner from Glen Helen, Ricky Carmichael.
And finally, the 1981 Yamaha YZ250, ridden by Kent and Scott Pfeiffer in 1981. On this bike, they won the Mexicali 250, the Baja 500, and the Baja 1000 in their class, accumulating enough points to win the overall motorcycle championship in 1981. They also repeated that same feat in 1982, albeit on a different motorcycle. Well, thank you for joining me, and thank you for checking out Legends of the Dirt. Hope you come and check it out in person, and I hope you walk away with a new appreciation for these fantastic race vehicles. And I can't recommend enough that you go look for some videos of them in action. It's pretty spectacular. Thank you very much.